अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम्। Hare Krishna and welcome back to all of you. In our last episode of the Mahabharata, we have seen how the Pandavas were rescued from their great anxiety of not being able to follow the path of Dharma by feeding Durvasa Muni, and they escaped from the great danger of being cursed by Durvasa Muni, who had been manipulated by Duryodhana into creating a situation where he could curse the Pandavas. So Lord Krishna himself personally came all the way from Dwaraka upon the prayer of Draupadi, and he rescued them. Now the question that we were left with in the last episode: what was the reason why Durvasa Muni and all his disciples who had come there feeling hungry, after their bath, that hunger went away? What caused them to lose their appetite? Before we come to that, there is a wonderful analogical story that was told by Srila Prabhupada. Once there was a man's body where all the senses started discussing amongst themselves. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hands, the legs, they all started discussing amongst themselves. They had some grievance. What was this grievance? The eye said, you see, whenever we require some food for maintaining our body together and to maintain our nourishment and to keep our energy levels high, I look around and I find where is the source of food that we require. And then the hand said, and when the eyes give the information where is the food, I am the one who picks it up and mixes the food in whatever proportion I need, and we take that food. The leg said, the moment the eyes give information where is the food, I take the body on my strength towards the source of that food. So like this, all the different senses gave their inputs about how they are contributing towards getting food, which is essential to keep the body energized. Then all of them started discussing, see, all of us are contributing towards this, towards obtaining the food and keeping the body nicely together. What is the stomach doing? Stomach is not doing anything. All that the fellow does is, whatever we do, hard work to get the food, he enjoys all that food. So whatever food we put into the mouth, ultimately it goes into the stomach. And what does the stomach do? Nothing. He is simply enjoying all the food. Now, this is injustice. It cannot be. Now, if he wants the food, he should also put in his fair share of hard work. Nothing if he does and sits and simply consumes the food every day, the whole time. What is the use? So all the senses became very agitated like this, that they are being exploited. Then all of them decided, all the senses decided, let us do something. From today onwards, we are going on strike against the stomach. From now on, we will not give the stomach any food. Let us see what the fellow will do. He will teach him a lesson. When he doesn't get food, he will come to his senses and he will understand that if he needs food, he has to put in his share of hard work. So all the senses then decided to shut down their activities and they refused to search for food or take any food into the stomach. Now the dharna started. half day over. Then it was from morning till afternoon, time passed. Then it became evening, and all the senses were again met in the evening. Now you see, that fellow stomach must be really getting agitated. He must be learning his lesson now. Although he has still not come and spoken to us, don't worry. Very quickly he will come to his senses, and then he will come begging in front of us. So our dharna is successful. Let us keep it going. And all of them then went to sleep. Then slowly evening became night. Then slowly the night got over. Next day morning, slowly the eyes are opening. Eyes are finding very difficult to open. So I'm feeling so much lack of energy. Eyelids itself are not opening, and the hands are trying to lift. So no energy at all, and the legs are refusing to lift the body up. So now what to do? All of the senses got together and started discussing what happened, what went wrong. All of us are facing so much difficulty, and each of them is facing the same problem. What is that? Lack of energy. They are feeling so tired, so fatigued, so weak. The eyes are saying, I'm hardly able to open my eyelids. Hands are saying, I'm not able to lift. Leg is, fallen on the ground. So they started discussing what could be the reason why they are feeling so much distress. Discussing. They were not able to figure out. Finally, they thought, maybe is it because we have not fed the stomach? Slowly, they started discussing, and this theory started gaining ground. And so all of them said, oh, maybe this could be the reason. So let us put some food into the stomach and see what happens. So with great difficulty, the leg managed to lift the body up, and somehow the hand picked up some food, and with great difficulty the mouth also chewed the food, and slowly the food went in. As the food started going in, slowly the senses started regaining their energy. So then, after a little while, when the food had gone in fully and it was digested, the senses were all back again to their full strength, and they again had a meeting, and they said, we didn't realize the importance of the stomach. Actually, when we feed the stomach, all of us get energy. So we must applaud the work of the stomach. Until now we were criticizing him. Let us give him a round of applause. And all of them started applauding and appreciating the stomach. So the moral of this story is that the stomach is the central point in the body. If we feed the stomach, then all the senses get the required strength. If we try to feed the senses separately, they will never be satisfied. Suppose I take the dal, full of proteins, very good for the eyes. For our eyesight to improve, proteins are required. It's very good. Take the hot dal and pour it into the eye. Will the eye power increase? Your eyes will get damaged. And then take nice sambar, beautiful fragrant sambar. Take it and pour it into your nose. Will your nose be able to enjoy? You cannot enjoy like this. The only way you can enjoy the food is take it and put it into the stomach. Then your whole body can enjoy that tasty food. So the structure of our body is so designed that by putting food into one single point of the stomach, the whole body gets energized. This is true even for plants. You take a tree. A tree has a central trunk, so many branches, then twigs, leaves, flowers, fruits, so on and so forth. Now for such a large tree to be able to sustain itself, it requires large amount of nutrition. Now how does the tree get nutrition? Do we have to take water and pour it to each of the leaves, each of the fruits, flowers, etc.? It's impractical, it's impossible. All that we have to do is pour water to the root. If we simply pour water to one place of the tree, just the root, the entire tree gets nourished. So this example is given in the Vedic scriptures. Yatha tarvor moola nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bujopashakhaha. Taror moola nishechanena. If we pour water to the root of a tree, then what happens is bhuja, skandha, upashakha, all the branches, twigs, leaves, fruits, flowers, everything gets nourished. Pranopaharacha yathendriyanam. The indriyas, the senses of the body, they all get nourished simply by putting food into the stomach. So exactly like this, Tatha Sarvarhanam Achyuta Ijya. Achyuta, Krishna, Ijya, by his worship, by worshipping Lord Krishna, if you are able to satisfy him, then everybody else is satisfied. We don't have to individually go around trying to satisfy various people. There are 33 crore devatas. We cannot satisfy all of them. We may do some yajna, some puja for a few. So for some Hanumanji, for some Ganeshji, Lord Shiva, we can do. 33 crore demigods can we do? Not possible. If we simply worship Krishna, all the devatas will be satisfied and they will take care of all our natural requirements that are there. So this is explained in this example of the stomach, and the root is given to explain how Krishna is the source of everything, and therefore by simply satisfy him, everybody else gets satisfied. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives this principle. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Krishna says Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. Krishna says there is no truth superior to me. That means Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. There is nobody equal to him, nobody above him. And Mai Sarvamidam Protam, this entire universe, whatever we are seeing, it's like a necklace of pearls. When you look at a necklace of pearls, it looks very beautiful. But what you don't see in the necklace is the thread which is running inside, holding all the pearl beads together. If the thread is not there, all the pearl beads will be scattered and there will be no necklace. So Krishna says, Mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Krishna says, just like the thread holds the necklace together, I am the person, Krishna is the person holding this entire universe together. And therefore, if we satisfy Krishna, then everybody else gets satisfied. Now, because when Draupadi fed Krishna with love and affection and with great devotion, Krishna felt satisfied immediately. Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 disciples, who are all part and parcel of Krishna, just like all of you and me, they also felt immediately fully satisfied, and so their hunger vanished. This was the secret behind why Durvasa Muni and his disciples lost their appetite after Krishna had eaten that little sabji from Draupadi's pot. So, in this manner, Krishna saved the Pandavas from Duryodhana's yet another nefarious plan. Now, we will take you to one more incident which happened of consequence in the Mahabharata. In the northern part of India, in the place known as Sindhu Desha, which comprised parts of Multan and other parts of Pakistan, as well as portions of Punjab, such as Jalandhar, Ludhiana, etc. This portion, this tract of land was known as Sindhu Desha during those days. This Sindhu Desha was being ruled over by a king by the name Vriddhakshetra. This Vriddhakshetra had a son by name Susharma, and one more of his sons, he had several sons, one more of his sons was Jayadratha. When this Jayadratha was born, Vriddhakshetra heard a prophecy that this Jayadratha would be killed by his enemy, who will behead him. When Vriddhakshetra heard this, he was thinking how to protect his son. He therefore uttered a curse that anybody who would cause the head of my son Jayadratha to fall on the ground, his own head will be split into 1,000 pieces. Vriddhakshetra's thinking was, if everybody knows about this, nobody will dare to kill my son, and therefore my son will escape death like this. And then Vriddhakshetra, what he did, he split the kingdom between Susharma and Jayadratha, To Susharma, he gave the portions of his kingdom which were towards Pakistan, and Jalandhar and all those parts of Punjab were given to Jayadratha, and Vruddakshadra went to the forest to engage in various kinds of tapasya. And he went to a place known as Samanta Panchaka. This Samanta Panchaka is found in Kurukshetra. Even today, if we go, there is a very big pond in Kurukshetra, which is called Samanta Panchaka. This pond was created when Parachuram rid the earth 21 times of the Kshatriyas. The blood which was created by the battles that he fought flowed like a river and collected in this place called Samanta Panchaka. And gradually that blood dried up and it became a lake. And later that lake became a place of great pilgrimage, and it is said in the Shastras that this Samanta Panchaka is a very holy place which is visited even by the demigods for conducting auspicious sacrifices. Vruddakshatra went to Samanta Panchaka, and he had retired from his family life, and he started living the life of a renunciate, and he was constantly engaged in tapasya and dhyana, because he wanted to, by his tapasya and his dhyana, he wanted to protect his sons. In the meantime, Jayadratha was ruling over the Punjab portion of India, and Susharma was ably looking after his portion of the kingdom. In due course of time, when he had grown up, when Jayadratha had grown up, and the Kauravas had also grown up, the Kaurava 100 brothers had one younger sister by name Dushala. So Duryodhana struck an alliance with Jayadratha, and Dushala was given in marriage to Jayadratha. And so this Jayadratha became a relative of the Kauravas. Once this Jayadratha got a proposal for an alliance with the king of Shalvadesha. This Shalvadesha is located in the central portion of India. Now, this Jayadratha, when he got the alliance proposal, he set out with a small retinue of his people, his friends and some army people, and he travelled to the central India. While travelling from Punjab towards this central India, towards Shalva Desha, Jayadratha was passing through a forest. When he was passing through this forest, Jayadratha, he came across one beautiful woman standing in the forest, and she was plucking some flowers and some fruits and collecting something and all that. And when Jayadratha saw this woman, he was captivated by her beauty. And he thought, who is this wonderful, beautiful woman in the midst of the forest? And he got enamored by her beauty. He forgot all about Shalva. He forgot all about the proposal he had received, and he thought, there is a much more beautiful woman here. Why not seek a proposal with her? And so what he did, he had one friend of his amongst the retinue that was following him. This friend of his was named Koti Shashya. So Jayadratha told Koti Shashya that see that beautiful woman, she is standing there, very enamored by her. Can you go and speak to her and see who she is and where she is from, and let us see if I can win her hand. This Koti Shashya approached this woman, and he started talking to her, and he said, oh gentle lady, you please see this person who is standing there in the chariot. He is the king of Sindhu Desha. He is King Jayadratha, and this Jayadratha is such a powerful king. And he started glorifying Jayadratha in various ways. And then he asked her, my king asks who you are. Can you please introduce yourself? So this lady was actually none other than Draupadi. So this Draupadi replied to him that, please tell your king that I am Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, and since we are all going through the forest, you are welcome to come to our hermitage, and partake of some prasadam which we have. You can all partake of that and drink some cool water which I have. So your fatigue will also be relieved. She was being hospitable naturally. This Koti Shesha went back to Jayadratha and told Jayadratha that this lady is actually Draupadi. So immediately Jayadratha remembered the Swayamvara of Draupadi, which he had also attended, and he had failed in that competition to win Draupadi's hands. But then at that time itself, he had been struck by the beauty of Draupadi. Of course, this time, because Draupadi was clad in the bark of a tree and her hair was all matted, he could not identify her immediately. But when he heard that she is Draupadi, he immediately recognized, oh, this is Draupadi. And Koti Shesha told him that like this she has invited to her hermitage to partake of some food and all that. So Jayadratha said, okay, let us go. And he, along with all his people, he proceeded towards the hermitage, and they came across this hermitage. At that time, the Pandavas had actually gone into the forest. They were not in the hermitage. So when they reached the hermitage, Jayadratha looked around. He saw that nobody else was there. Then he started speaking to Draupadi. Oh Draupadi, I am very saddened to see your state. You are the princess. You are the daughter of King Drupada. You should be living in royal opulence. But see how you are wearing tree bark for a cloth, and your hair is all matted. You are looking so thin and frail, and you are having to do all this manual work yourself. You are going picking the flowers, fruits, and all that for cooking food for your husbands. This is not the way you should be. If I was your husband, I would have taken such good care of you. You would have lived in royal opulence. So what is all this, Pandavas doing? You married them thinking that they are the Pandavas and they will become great kings of Hastinapur and all that. But look at what has happened to you. So what the Pandavas can take care of you? Why don't you do one thing? Forget about them. No, you come with me. I will keep you very nicely. Don't worry. Like this, Jayadratha started flirting with Draupadi. Now, Draupadi was a woman of very high character. She was not going to be carried away by such flimsy flirting by this Jayadratha. She strongly spoke back to Jayadratha and told him that it is immoral of him to make such proposals, and she would under no circumstance she would abandon the Pandavas. And she also told Jayadratha, please don't even entertain such thoughts even in your dreams, otherwise my husbands will come and you will have to lose your life. So don't even think about it. You have come this far. As a matter of my duty, I am offering this some little water and some food. You please take and you leave from here. Don't talk all these kind of things. But now this Jayadratha was not somebody to keep quiet. He said, okay, so if you are not going to listen, I am trying to be nice to you. If you are not going to listen, okay, I will show you who I am. He caught her hand and he started dragging her. Now what did Draupadi do? Now Draupadi was also daughter of a king. She is also born in a Kshatriya family. So she was not going to keep quiet. She gave him a roundhouse punch and it caught Jayadratha squarely on his cheek and he fell crashing down like a tree. Jayadratha had not expected this. And then he picked himself up and he was shaking his head. Oh my God, what struck me? He was like, for a few moments he was lost. Then he realized Draupadi had punched him and he had fallen down. Then he picked himself up and he became very angry because now he had been humiliated. He said, oh, now I will not leave this Draupadi. So with all his friends, he managed to capture Draupadi, dragged her onto the chariot and started driving away. So Draupadi had been abducted by this most immoral Jayadratha. Now what could Draupadi do? What happened to Draupadi? Please join us in our next episode to know about this. Thank you for joining us today. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.